Hey everybody! Welcome to Wisdom Ella. Today, we're going to be talking about the two dysfunctional sisters in relationships, disease to please and codependency. We'll be covering how to identify them and how they interact with one another. On the surface, you may ask, how do these two even relate? But when we take a closer look, you'll be able to see that one can catalyze the other. They go hand in hand. There are two sisters with similar dysfunctional personalities. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Watch until the very end because we'll be giving you a few helpful tips and extra wisdom nuggets if you or someone you know suffers from these behavioral conditions. What is the disease to please? So the phrase disease to please was coined by psychologist and author, the late Dr. Harriet B. Breaker. In the early 2000s, she wrote the book, The Disease to Please, Curing People-Pleasing Syndrome. People with the disease to please are often known as people pleasers. People pleasers usually are suffering from the disease to please because they are suffering from a deeper issue that ignites their strong desire within them to want to make people happy. This goes beyond being nice. They are eager to seek approval from others, and for many, suffer from self-worth issues. Many times, when they say yes, this is in hopes that they'll be accepted. And sadly, sometimes those yeses might really be hidden no's. They just want to avoid confrontation and would rather internalize their anger than express opposition. A lot of times, people pleasers are afraid to appear selfish or look like a bad person. So in turn, they cater to the needs of others and are always doing favors. They are getting taken advantage of. If you look at the history of those who have the disease to please, 9 times out of 10, they have been mistreated by others and hope to improve those relationships through their people-pleasing ways. How do you know if you have the disease to please? In order to identify the disease to pleasing yourself or in others, here are some signs to look out for. Feeling responsible for others' emotions. Pretending to agree with everyone. Saying the word no is merely impossible. Apologizing all the time, even if they're not at fault. Hiding your feelings when you're hurt. Avoiding confrontation like the plague. Living on praise from other people. Quickly agreeing even if they disagree. Having low self-esteem. Modeling habits and personalities of those that they are around. If you are doing a combination of any of these, chances are you might be suffering from the disease to please. Okay, let's talk about the other sister. What is codependency? Codependency is when one person is needy and loses sense of independence in order to tend and cater to another in a relationship. The codependent cannot function without the enabler. Don't confuse this with clinginess. A codependent might plan their whole life around that person or the enabler just to make sure that they are able to continue to please them. Now that is dedication on a whole new level, or obsession, that is. On the other hand, a clingy person uses the other person as a safety blanket in order to function in life. A codependent relationship develops a cycle of a codependent needing the enabler and the enabler wanting to be needed by that said codependent. The cycle. It continues until mental and spiritual intervention occurs for both parties. According to Psych Central, there are 4 main themes that occur in codependent behavior. Self-sacrifice, a tendency to focus on others, a need for control, which may fuel conflict, difficulty recognizing and expressing emotions. While codependency can vary across different types of interactions, these 4 main themes remain true. One thing we need to note is that there is a distinction between dependent and codependent unions. In codependency, the enabler and the codependent are not in equal roles in the relationship. While both are dysfunctional in nature, the enabler gets what he or she wants from the codependent. The codependent is the one who is constantly making extreme sacrifices to satisfy the other person's needs. It is not an equal two-sided exchange. On the flip side, dependent unions involve people with an even exchange with both getting what they need and want. Unlike dependent unions, codependent ones are one-sided. Talk about dysfunction! If you're learning a lot from this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get more wisdom nuggets. Okay, let's get back into the video. How do you know if you are codependent? As I said earlier, you should make sure that you are not confusing codependency with clinginess because they have similar attributes. The level of commitment differs between the two. A codependent will go the distance compared to someone who is just clingy. Both are not the most healthy, but I digress. In order to identify codependency in yourself or in others, make sure to look out for these signs. Spending time and energy on satisfying every request of the other person. Doing anything to please the enabler, no matter how much it costs or no matter the effect on the codependent themselves. Finding no happiness or satisfaction outside of doing things for the other person. Sacrificing one's conscience or even morals just to do what the enabler wants. Being constantly anxious about the relationship because of the obsession of making the other person happy. Feeling guilty about going after one's goals or taking care of their needs because they're worried about the other person. If you're doing a combination of any of these, chances are you might be a codependent. How do the dysfunctional sisters interact with one another? After explaining both, can you see how similar they are? If you haven't noticed already, one of the things codependent people often do is constantly give and give and give, even if they are in need. They hide and put their feelings on the back burner just to make the other person happy. They are in a state of self-sacrifice all the time, all for the enabler. You see, codependents have the disease to please towards the one that they're involved with. They live off the praise of the other person, and they agree even if they secretly disagree just to keep the peace and make the other person happy. Also, codependents have a difficult time saying no to their enablers because they don't want to see them upset or even worse, lose them. The two dysfunctional sisters intermingle with one another so that one can pick up right where the other one left off. Even though they're not twins, you can definitely tell that they are cut from the same cloth. If you are seeing the signs within yourself, listen up. Whether you have dealt with underprotective or overprotective parents as a little one, or experienced some other trauma in your life, just know that you deserve better. The first step is to identify that these two dysfunctional sisters have been ruling your life and causing you to have unhealthy relationship habits. The second step is to not be so hard on yourself and instead want better for your life. Both codependents and people pleasers put other people and their wants before themselves. And then they're left feeling unsatisfied and unfulfilled. And that's not fair. The third step is to set boundaries in all of your relationships. Fight the urge to want to fix, control, or even save your loved ones. Realize that not only is it important for your loved ones to receive what they need, it is just as important for you to receive what you need as well. Purge some toxic relationships. Practice some self-love. Seek spiritual intervention and emotional healing. It might take some time, but that's okay. If you want to grow and get better, but you find it really difficult to get rid of those pesky sisters, start with your mind. Check out the video above. So, what do you think? Do you relate to this video at all? Do you or someone you know identify with these signs of codependency or the disease to please? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because we definitely want to connect with you. We wish you the absolute best. Subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any more wisdom nuggets like this and much more. See you in the next video.